Welcome back. Hope you all had your lovely second break there. Before we get started, I'm going to give the answer to your riddle. So you had the letters AACCLMSTY. Did you get it, Rebecca?
Is it cataclysm?
Cataclysm is the right time. So yes.
Great
You
word.
can also get lactams and tamols out of it. So
Cool. If we were doing inspiration dice for this game, then you would have definitely gotten some. But sadly, this is just for the audience. Because, as previously discussed, your characters are all really hefty right now. Anyway, I don't think you need any extra help from me. Speaking of, we enter as we are viewing the town of Bargewright Inn, which is a fortified town in Faerun. It is a settlement that kind of expanded around an original inn called the Bargewright Inn, which through being a hub for activity accrued money, and just the settlement built up around it. They needed fortifications, and now it is a town in its own right, named after the old pub. And you have all received through your own communications, your own networks, a missive, a very urgent message from a group of heroes in Neverwinter, notifying you of a ring of monoliths which have sprung up in various locations and which will spell disaster for anyone caught within their bounds when they go off. So I think, starting off, Nathan and Mike, you have arrived at the old Bargewright, the original inn that the town is built around. You have been searching to try and find this supposed huge 150-foot monolith, but to no avail. You'd think that such a thing would be highly visible, but so far you've turned up nothing, and you are seeking respite in the old Bargewright. Nathan, would you mind just giving us a quick description of who walks into the old Bargewright as your character enters?
The door slams open. The shadows play up against the walls. Everyone's blinded, but kind of by the light suddenly entering into this otherwise very normal bar. And everyone in the bar gets a sense something very serious has entered into this establishment. Kind of crunching down to fit through and going a little bit sideways, kind of turning shoulders, is just an absolute massive muscle. A gem dragonborn walks through. You see the outline of not just a whole bristle of different weapons, of your hand axes, your javelins, your traveling sacks, just points and in kind of all directions, like he's a hedgehog, but most notably the outline of just a truly comically large greatsword. That is one of those where it's like, I don't think that would work in real life. Why are there so many weird edges to it? Why is it shaped like that? But nonetheless, you hear this, kind of growling voice muttering something that no one can understand. And, nostrils flare. Just a chill goes through the entire room. And steps into the light. And you can see on covering up what must be a well-muscled torso is a polo shirt with like a little dragon alligator on the kind of on the breast there. Some short, some sensible traveling shoes, and Grimnir Dirgeblade, once a renowned terror and bandit, murderer, plunderer, and now person who's on the road to self-improvement, turns around to his traveling companion and says, "Oh, cool. We're here. We made it. Oh, I actually never got to go here. This was always kind of on the like middle list of places to not steal from, to visit. So glad to be here." It's smaller than I thought it was going to be.
But like, I dodge, like, as you turn around to speak to me, I have to dodge about 14 different blades, sort of like swinging around as you turn around, and like half the bar all like away and like fall off the side of a table. As you can see, a drastically smaller person in comparison to Grimnir, wearing, instead of sort of like brown leathers, wearing black leathers that are much tighter onto the body, but still wearing his signature hat that he's replaced. Instead of it being sort of the traditional fedora, it's a more wide-brimmed, almost cowboy hat this time,
For travel.
that goes below his eyes as he sort of pulls it up, and you see Frore Brooke. He sort of looks up and goes, like, sees through immediately what you're saying, but lets it go. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's your round.
So like, I needed. We've spent this. I cannot believe how long this is taking. I'm gonna be honest. Morale is a little low for me right now. I'm trying to share my feelings, and my feelings are I want to smash something because of how I feel, and or drink and eat these feelings away.
So I feel like you've got a perfect moment, and he takes his hat off and places it on. I hope there's a rat next to the door.
Or you place it
just
on
the
the
floor.
handle of a hand axe that's on
Yeah.
Grimnir's back too.
Yeah,
That
just
works
place
too.
it onto the handle of your hand. Perfect. Place it and sort of like takes the jacket on, ruffles the dust off outside the door just before, and sort of wraps up. It's a valuable lesson you could learn here. You know, I'm quite experienced in the whole dead ends of investigations, and well, I feel like this might be one where we just have to sit and wait for it to make its appearance, or someone comes along and tells us that we're actually looking in the wrong direction. Because as far as the missive said, this thing's supposed to be huge, right?
Yeah, like I've been in like a lot of caverns and, such places where loot and or valuable things could be, allegedly, but this I feel like is well within kind of at least my ability to see from a while away. And
But,
we
my friend,
haven't.
you've clearly served your time. You don't need to hide. I know I was once at one point a man of the law, but let's just, we can just... My question, I think, is more important, is can you carry a full barrel of ale?
Like, how big?
Yeah, one that's going to serve us for at least, and then he kind of looks up and down at you. A couple of hours? Because my plan is we get a barrel from the back, legally, take it onto the roof, I face one way, you face the other, and we just wait for it to pop up.
That feels fine to me. I welcome the opportunity to spend time with you and not doing the thing that we were supposed to be doing, which is seeing the big tower.
Well, I think we can do both, essentially. Look, I cannot be bothered to march through place after place, looking for this huge thing that we're clearly just going to see when it pops up, and then we can act.
Yeah, that did suck. It's been a long few days. I don't miss this.
We get stuck in another bog. I'll leave.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. At the mention of bog, he goes up to the bartender and asks for the largest cask that they will permit him to take. That also fits through a window or door. He's learned that lesson also of spatial reasoning.
I'm sure that we can sort you out with something. Yeah. Ale, you said, house ale.
Whatever you have the fullest barrel of. Sounds great.
Great.
Oh,
Yeah.
and how are you this fine day? Thank you for your attentive service.
Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry, people don't normally ask me that. It's been a while actually.
Yeah, no, it's I found it important to acknowledge when people treat me with respect and gratitude, and to return it as it happens.
Oh, it's much appreciated. Right. Points to a very large corked barrel behind him. So that'll be 2 gold pieces, but you bring the barrel back, give you 5 silver pieces back.
I wasn't gonna steal it or anything. That's awesome. He happily just rummages around and just throws money, has no qualms about you could have asked him basically any amount of money. It would have been like, sure, great, whatever. And just takes it under his arm. And he says, all right, I think that'll sort out the one I traveled with. Do you have another one for me? I mean,
looks around and there is a similarly sized barrel. Yeah, another 2 gold pieces.
Oh, great. And this 5 back too? The 5 silver back?
Yeah, I'll buy your barrels back off you.
You will. He grabs it. He says thank you, and he walks off. Be like, you will never believe that they will pay me to give it back to him. It's like I'm ransoming their barrels consensually. So cool. And he walks out to go climb on the roof.
Yeah, I guess I'll get the tankards then, and I'll just go over and grab 2, and it's and me just happily following behind with his 2 little tankards.
I think it's around about this time that the door swings open once more.
I mean, if you would prefer, Sean, we'd be flying in on Andy. So, we should probably describe ourselves before I start asking questions. I have questions.
Okay. Well, let's get to it. I think, Rebecca, could you describe who is flying in on Andy?
Absolutely. Sitting astride Andy, looking more comfortable than she did when the journey began, there was, let the reader imagine, a fairly significant argument about the merits of flying rather than just using our own feet on the ground, thank you very much. But my companion did win that with the basics of common sense and logic. And my wife, who is also excellent at common sense and logic, did prevail. Sitting astride the steed is a woman. She is clothed in a navy blue tunic that flares really rather dramatically and elegantly. She is much better dressed than last time we saw her. Long slits up the sides, up to her waist, showing bright red trousers underneath. Hair neatly but practically braided back and very dark eyes scanning everything that is happening, never letting up for a moment. The comfortable clothes shouldn't deceive you for more than a moment, because underneath the clothes, that if you look closely you realize allow for a huge range of movement, is an exceptionally muscular figure. And although she is still keeping a very wary eye on what is going on, the hard lines of her face and the permanent suspicion and hunted expression that was on the face of Persephone Iamont last time you saw her in Baldur's Gate has softened. Marriage and happiness are suiting her very well, although she is slightly twitchy at the moment because this is the furthest she has been away from her home since she settled in Baldur's Gate.
Lovely. Who
Yes.
is...
Well, if
Stephanie's,
the question of
Catherine.
Andy didn't give the hint. Yeah, I'm playing Prosperous. Prosperous is a half-orc paladin of Shantae. Prosperous is blue-skinned half-orc, very tall, very muscular, also carrying a mighty, ridiculous sword, extremely large, made of dinosaur bone, has various different gems embedded in it. Wears golden armour with symbols of Shantae on it that is an antique from some culture beginning with N. What are they called?
Not Netherese?
It's not Neverwinter. Netherese, thank you. Prosperous is probably less cheerful than previously. However, Andy is extremely cheerful, and Sean, in case you don't remember, Andy speaks with an American accent and is very irritating and unbelievably optimistic
How had I
at
forgotten?
all times.
How irritating, Andy. Oh no. Chris has a lot.
Are we talking Southern, Brooklyn, Texas? What am I working with?
The three American accents, as we all
Wasn't
know.
it quite LA?
Yeah, I think so. And Ali
That's
is
the
an
dude, California.
Andy is an alicorn, so Pegasus wings and unicorn horn, and is a very beautiful steed that is flying us wherever we wish to go.
I didn't know what an alicorn was at first, so my first thought had been unicorn alligator. So finding out that it was in fact a Pegasus unicorn.
I have one of those. That feels very Grimnir. So just, any future GMs
The
want to
future.
throw that my way, that'd be great.
We also have a pet octopus. Don't ask.
It's Milks. Is this Milk's
It's-
octopus?
No, it's not my pet. It's Ali. It's Andy's pet. It's not mine.
The pet is a pet.
Cool.
Cool.
Sean, we are flying, so if there was something popping up on the landscape, we would almost certainly have seen it.
That is
Well,
very true.
I might not have, but Percy probably did.
I mean, okay. And you think that you would probably have been in the air rather than trying to seek any kind of respite from the inn? Most likely.
Oh, I
Hopefully-
feel like if we see an inn coming up after flying for a long time, Percy will go, Prosperous.
Yep.
I'm so fond of Andy, as you are well aware, and I so love this method of travel, but maybe it would be...
You don't have to lie. It's fine.
I am so done. Please, can we get... I wasn't lying. I was trying to be tactful. It's a work in progress.
It's all right. He's so cheerful. You can't hurt his feelings.
Cool. Andy is so great for Andy, but I would like to be on the ground for a bit, please. And that place looks like it has wine.
Fair. We should probably rest anyway before we do whatever it is. What did you say? What did your contact say?
So, I mean, this is a friend of a friend. I told you about Silver, my friend. Someone she knows got in touch and said that we need something garbled about stopping the end of the world. And there are obelisks, and we have to destroy at least one of them. It was, my friend can get a little panicky, and I think maybe her friend can also get a little exuberant. So the message had a lot of superlatives in that I had to take away again. But I think we have to find a monolith, a big tower, and knock it down, or yet another bad guy enter the world. It's one of those. We've done them before.
We're pretty good at knocking down buildings, towers.
There's no god to kill this time, though, and like Asher and I are 1 for 1. I want the tiebreaker.
I'm on the hunt for a god, so maybe this is just
Okay.
a diversion.
Kill or to worship?
I've already got one to worship.
Oh, good. No, just checking. You might have been looking for. Is it still Shantae? Is Shantae still the
Yes.
god? Good.
Yes.
Cool. Great. I will. Yeah. No. Yes. Down.
Yes.
Quick question: is this all happening as you guys are like landing and like
Yeah,
pulling
flying
the
in.
alicorn over and stuff? I think Grimnir would just yell out at this point, be like, "Hey, are you guys talking about property damage? But like in a professional, heroic kind of capacity?"
Who wants to know?
I mean me,
You
and
spot
I don't
a-
know about him, but maybe
Also,
also.
you can't actually see me because I'm behind you.
Yeah, right, exactly. He just gestures behind him towards maybe the sky. And they are on the roof, as a reminder.
Oh, we got there yet. I wasn't sure if we'd made it up there yet.
Well, so I was going to say, if Prosperous and Percy are going to be potentially flying in, the door swings open and enters a what appears to be an orc in kind of city guard armor. You're very. How would you feel if you saw someone that reminded you of an old friend?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't leave the force on bad terms. I just gave my badge away.
So hold that thought, maybe. You both make it to the roof, and yeah, as this alicorn, what appears to be a horse with both horn and wings, and 2 passengers on its back, begins to make its descent. As you kind of speak to Andy, Andy just starts to go, "Whoa, well, it's been an awful long time, so I'm more than happy to take a chill out break,
You'd better water Squishy as well.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, this octopus ownership thing, it's still very new, and you know how it is. You gotta water the little guy. Person.
Don't ask, Percy. Don't ask. I didn't want the octopus.
Uh-huh.
How
I
you
haven't
doing,
asked yet what
buddy?
happens if he pops back into his little null space. Where does the octopus go? I
this
don't want to
doesn't
know.
have anything to do with Milk's squid. This is an
No.
entirely separate cephalopod.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
not right, Bob. Carry on. As you're having this conversation and descending out of the air, you do hear calling out to you a very large dragonborn carrying 2 very large barrels, and there appears to be a figure behind as well.
I spy some alcohol.
Land on the roof, talk more about the nice heroic property damage.
It's a bit of a weird opener, isn't it? Go on, Andy. See if you can drop us off on the roof.
Whatever you say.
Quietly, please, Andy.
I'll be the most subtle that you've ever. And when I'm talking subtle, I mean quiet as like one of those really quiet, tiny.
Sean, are we within
I
6
feel like
feet?
that's the exact point when Faerun goes, "Oh look, it's Andy."
Are we within 60 feet of the roof by this point?
Yeah.
Percy, Andy is not stopping talking. Percy will just shadow step off and onto the roof, right next to Grimnir.
Whoa, okay. Weight adjustment. Coming through.
Is Furry obviously on the roof?
He steps out and goes, "That's Andy," and then I probably at that point seeing Andy and then looking up and going, "And that's Prosperous." He's sort of like, he's wearing something different, so it might not be immediately. And if you're above him, you might not be able to actually see his face because of his new hat. To be fair, but it is a small
better
friend. That's probably as he
Let's roll the game.
glances up and pulls his hat up.
Andy and Prosperous are psychically linked. There is definitely a moment of hesitation before he continues to descend.
Ooh.
Well, okay, adjustment again. We got some strong headwind coming in here. That adjust for landing. I'm just gonna go for it. Superhero landing done. Okay.
Why don't you go get some water, Andy, and just like chill for a bit?
Okay then.
Far, far away. Please.
Whatever
him a
you
good-
say.
Give him a good pat. He's a good horse.
We'll attempt to kind of to go down the stairs, see that it's not really made for Alicorn. Go, well, maybe I'll just take off. Yeah, I'll take off. Yeah, I'll do me. You just carry on with what you got going on.
So is that like a? So it's like a. Is it a unicorn or a Pegasus? Because I've encountered and befriended peacefully both, but not that's together. Is it different?
A mixture of the two, called an alicorn. Prosperous is standing behind Percy, which is weird.
Please, could I insight check to see how peaceful this befriending was?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
You got a natural 20, didn't you?
Welcome back.
Spoiler: the DC you didn't require a natural 24.
I got,
May not surprise you to learn.
28.
Grimnir's not much of a liar. No, he's murdered both of these creatures, maybe multiple of them. And he wasn't implying he was going to murder your horse. That was just his frame of reference.
So, if you are paying attention, you will see Percy's stance. Like, it looks almost exactly the same, but to a fighter, she is suddenly, like, ready to go. She has done nothing hostile, nothing inflammatory, but she has gone from, I've got off a horse onto a roof, into, like, I am standing in front of P, I will end you if I have to.
That was a cool, like, you poofed and then you poofed. Like that's really cool. I wish I could do that. I can like fly and stuff, but like for a little bit, I like seems
I mean,
cool.
You seem like a very resourceful person. What can you do other than lie badly?
Don't understand what you mean by that, but hi, I'm Grimnir, and I am an adventurer. I adventure on occasion, and do adventure things.
Insight check?
Yeah, go ahead.
That is much less ridiculous. That is 13 plus 8, 21.
I mean, again, in this instance, he's not lying. He does do adventurer kind of things at this point in his life.
What do I pick up behind the shifty eyes?
Grimnir, it's more of like he's not sure if he can call himself an adventurer at this juncture. You know, he's very much a freelancer. He dabbles every once in a while. He'll kind of get roped into things like this, where someone will be like, "Hey, Grimnir, you want to do something nice, right? Great. Come be hired muscle for me." Lovely. And so he's not sure he has earned the title of adventurer, but still does adventure-based things. And he's a little bit less proud of talking about how much he loves to murder, or how good at it he is. So just blanket adventurer things.
Mm-hmm.
If Foray is willing to vouch for him, then he will be fine.
If who? Is that the octopus?
Like, he takes his hat off.
Wait.
And,
Do you two?
That's a
yeah.
Oh,
Pals. Hello.
Hi.
You okay? Do you wanna?
I think we should have a drink, maybe.
Yeah.
They
do
give
like
you silver for giving them their own barrels back inside.
We've got 2 barrels. I reckon one will be. Actually,
I think we'll be
first.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, now this is
I'll go
this
get
is
2 more tankards.
this is
And I'll
a
shop.
working lunch now, so we can like it's just like half a barrel or whatever, and then we can.
Trust you'll hear about monoliths and
Yes.
saving the world,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. Wait, did you find them? Seems like
we
you
see
didn't
them?
either.
Sean, did we see anything flying in?
I will ask all of you, because you've all been on the lookout for the last couple of days, all of you to roll. I'm happy for investigation, for perception.
How about
21
persuasion?
perception.
Jesus Christ, my persuasion is high.
Mine's 2 weirdly. I forgot that I built a weirdly charismatic barbarian. My perception is 21.
Mine's
mine's-
also 21.
Flat 20.
21, 21, 20.
In my investigation, I have the built-in feature of eye for detail as well.
Mhm.
So it generally will. My perception checks will also spot a hidden creature or object, or make an investigation check. Will uncover or decipher clues. As part of my thingamabob. So I show.
Sorry. You all, well, yeah. Tell me what you rolled.
I rolled a 1, so
Go.
that makes it a 14. Depends how you rule nat ones on ability. Which is like
One is a one is a one.
is very frustrating because
Not
that's what
one if you can't fail one. I think for I think the way that the nat one is flavored is it's not that you don't, it's that you are not satisfied by the fact you haven't found anything. So you are positive there should be something around, but it's there's got to be something you're missing, and that is just irking you. And obviously, the more you think about how there should be something that you should be finding, you're kind of self-sabotaging and kind of overdoing it. The rest of you on your post 20 rolls, you are a little bit more comfortable, having kind of come in from different directions, are a bit more certain that the reason you haven't seen anything is because there hasn't been anything to see. Even from kind of looking from the air, you feel like there's some sort of activity that would have would have tipped you off to a big fuck off monolith.
Can I, on top of that, divine sense, please, Sean? So detect, sense anything affected by the Hello spell near the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
You are getting undead pings.
Like normal
this-
levels of undead pings, or like alarming levels of undead pings?
What's the range on it?
60 feet.
60 feet. For 60 feet of movement, and I'm assuming you're kind of using it as often as you can as well, so it's not just, well, that was my one go.
I can use it six times per long rest.
Okay. And obviously you've had a couple of days of kind of searching around the area. You've got a couple of hints, but not like you say, kind of your kind of base level undead that you would expect. You know, the number of undead in an area is never zero, so
You're
no
only ever
higher than
2
average.
meters away from a... No, joking. I don't think it's...
I would say that if you sorry.
Oh, you go.
If you had fairly recently, you would get a ping from this very inn.
I
Do
think you
do you
should go
get to
get
know
your.
what kind of undead, or just that it is there?
Know the location of any. It just says know the location. You know the type, but not its identity.
You, having done your divine sense, you do get a ping from this very tavern. You said that you know what it is as well.
Yeah, but not who.
Okay, so not who, right? You know that it is a vampire.
I know exactly where they are as well.
You know that. Oh, great! Now I have to look where they are. You know that the vampire is within the old Bardrite Inn, the building that you are currently standing upon, in an upstairs room.
No. I thought he's just gone inside, but he's probably not going upstairs, so he's probably safe, so...
No, you see two more tankards like lift up as I'm climbing back onto the roof, probably at this point.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but there is a vampire in this inn. Now, not all vampires are evil, obviously, but it's the only large source of undeadness that I can feel nearby.
The last vampires I met tried to wipe out all living things, and very nearly succeeded. Not all vampires are evil, but most of those ones were.
Hashtag not all vampires.
Sorry. What's a vampire?
Like a... How does one describe a vampire?
Undead, likes blood, normally a great sense of sartorial fashion. Not to generalise, but, you know,
Pompous.
some well-dressed villains that I've ever met.
Sounds maybe on the kind of bad guy side of things.
But then we have met some lovely Dampirs along the way. But yes, the ones I have met have been very murdery.
Approach with caution.
We could go and knock on the door and just pretend to be housekeeping.
Or I'm quite quiet. I believe
None of us look like housekeeping.
It's been a while. I have been retired, but I'm pretty sure I can go invisible. I can do pass without trace and shadow step, and I'm completely silent when I walk.
Shall we just wait for you and scream if you need us?
I can join and have you back. I'm next to silent and invisible without the magic.
Great. Does the hat have to come? It's a little conspicuous.
It keeps the sun off my face. I burn easily.
There will be very sunny spots where the vampire is, you're right.
I just feel like everybody always... Right, I have issues with my hat that I don't need to put onto you guys.
I did not realise it had sentimental value, absolutely.
No,
like
I've
really
I've spent quite a lot of time with Grimnir, and this whole self-reflection thing is rubbing off. So I've just... Right. Lead on. The hat can stay, and...
If it's
Does
important
Andy
to you,
still have my previous fedora on?
Yeah, probably. Or if not on, then in a saddlebag somewhere, because maybe you wouldn't have wanted to be reminded of you all the time.
Yeah. I'll hang my hat back on Grimnir's hand axe. Better? I mean, he's got it's a classic, like, I'd never take my hat off. So my hair is like completely hat hair.
ooh, I mean, it was a suggestion for.
Look, you went in for the
espionage,
attack.
but
You went in for the attack, and this is the consequences.
you are a very sensitive little man.
I told you I have issues with my hat. That's
I respect
everything else you can attack. I'm surprisingly unbothered about my height, but
that. Okay.
Can I suggest that you just don't talk to each other while you're
I
stealthing?
just want to go and have a look at things, and just suggested. Oh goodness, I haven't been out of Baldur's Gate, and oh dear.
I'm on your 6.
Okay. What's that? Yes, okay. Law enforcement. Interesting.
So, Grimnir just starts small talking with Prosperous.
Oh, I was 100% going to ask you about what self-reflection you've been talking to Foray about.
Oh yeah, no, he's like, well, first, I mean, I think we can all agree the hat is like a way to like hide, right, from being vulnerable, right? First of all, I think
Never
that's
thought about it because he's just always worn the hat.
yeah. I mean,
I've known him for a real long time.
spoiler, he also hasn't thought about it, you know, if we're being honest. But and he opens up his traveling pack and like starts taking books out that are self-help books that he's been going through with his therapist, and just starts like rattling through things.
Did he mention me at all?
Which one were you?
I'll take that as a no.
On the stealth mission. Could you both roll me some stealth, please?
Yes.
I need something. I am not being infected with the Blackwater and Goldenfield's curse of rolling that once.
I get advantage on stealth because of my tattoo of displacement, which is good because that was a 2, but that was
So Mike's expression is not good.
Oh no, I got 24.
I got 2 as well.
Oh, without the
Isn't that-
advantage.
I did ask for not a 1.
Mm.
That's a 17.
17.
Oh wait, do I have reliable talent yet? I must do.
You must
Sure.
have reliable talent.
Level 14.
Old character, who dis?
Where is it? It's not there. I thought you got it at level 11, but...
How many levels of fighter have you got?
Oh, yeah, that makes that.
Okay.
I don't have reliable.
Okay. The 17 as a like, you know, as a base is pretty decent. So I think combined with Persephone's higher roll and also the fact that Foray is backup, you are able to go to the location that P said. So the ping came from, or felt like it came from, a corner room on the uppermost floor of the old inn. So literally, kind of, you would just go down through the, it's like a fire escape hatch, just from the roof down into the upper floor corridor, and you know exactly kind of which corner room to go to.
I can go invisible. I found it. I need to be in an area of dim light or darkness, and then I can come invisible, and like usual invisibility, I stay until I do something. So when we get to just outside the room, can I
You
find
would
a
have
patch?
encountered, Rebecca, vampires who can see through invisibility. Just for your reference, there were definitely some in Baldur's Gate.
There absolutely were, you're right, but it's free. I just use an action to do
Yeah.
it. We're not in combat, so I might as well just to avoid anything else, but thank you for the reminder. Is there a shut door, a locked door? I don't want to rattle the handle, because that feels a little on the
The door is
nose.
shut, but you would have to do a little bit of further investigation to determine whether it is locked.
Can you... You're
Yeah,
the...
I'll do that for you.
If
Come on. Okay, that's a 29 investigation.
Okay.
Or I can do a sleight of hand as well if you'd like, to be how subtle you want me to be.
I think the one check is fine, because if you start layering checks upon checks, it's effectively disadvantage, and that's not fair. No, yeah, you silently kind of run a hand down the door frame, and you can determine that it is a locked door. And I will also just give you that you can hear that there is the sound of pacing coming from inside. So you also feel like it's occupied.
Is this the point where we want reinforcement? Is there a keyhole that we can look through?
There most certainly would be a keyhole. Yes, it is. It is not simply locked with padlocks, but there is also a keyhole.
I start to bend down to the keyhole and then remember my manners and gesture to Frory to have first look through the keyhole.
Are you invisible?
Yes, I am. Frory, you don't know where Percy's gone, and then you feel just a little warm breath right on your ear as she whispers, "Look through the keyhole." You're so welcome. You feel a little push.
That's a natural 20 performance check to see how well I responded to that, and I don't react. I'm surprisingly cool about it.
You feel invisibility, the invisible respect in the room just go up slightly.
I do whisper when you ask if we need backup. I whisper, generally you find Prosperous will come through a window if you're in trouble, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yes, not that many windows in the Icewind Dale, but yes, reasonable.
That's a 22 perception.
Yeah.
Perception. You look through this keyhole, and with a 22, you're kind of able to focus such that you get a very wide view of the room indoors. It's well appointed. It's not when you hear the term vampire, you would expect kind of, you know, four-poster beds, flowing satin curtains, that sort of thing. This is a typical inn guest room. There's no embellishments, nothing that would otherwise indicate that this person is in any way not human. The person inside, as supposed, is wearing fine clothes, but they are also quite well worn. So potentially someone who has experienced the better side of life, but perhaps not for a while, certainly not been able to replenish their wardrobe in a farewell as well. They seem to be filling a luggage bag with whatever meager possessions they still have, pacing around the room trying to work out what to leave and what to bring.
Looks like they're trying to get the hell out of here.
Huh. Do they look particularly evil?
Here's where I'm going to lay an insight.
Yeah, and I have a thing for this, I do believe. Beep, bop, beep, bop, beep, bop. When I make an insight check, I can roll a d4 and add that number rolled as an action. As an action, you can use... Oh, it's my goggles. I remember now. Examine the... Oh, no, that's the identify bit of it. So I get a d4 on my insight.
Yep.
So that's...
So you kind of lower the goggles over your eyes as you're peering through the keyhole.
A 19 insight.
You don't get the impression that this person is an outstanding citizen, only ever does good, but you also don't feel like they're particularly malicious. I think with the high perception roll and decent insight, you probably catch just out of the corner of your eye an insignia on a ring, which puts you in mind of something that was worn by certain Zentarium agents that you had put away previously.
Themselves not directly bad, but they're associated with not great people. We could just open the door and have a little chat about where they're rushing off to.
Sounds great, but unless Prosperous has changed, P does not like being left out of potentially confrontational situations. Hold 1 second. And Percy, with her 65 feet movement speed and her ability to dash as a bonus action, is going to just zip up to the roof. Go, we're going to knock on the door. Coming, zip back down again and knock on the door.
Gonna turn to Grimnir and be like, through the window?
Well, yes, I think so. I'm gonna wait until you go. You're big, I'm big. I feel like it's kind of like a once we're there, things kind of escalate. You know, that's a pretty clear message.
Met Percy and Foray before, I think having me there might make things de-escalate. I'm gonna swing.
Well, then I'll wait for you then, because that's not. I'm working on it. I try to keep the escalation level even. I wouldn't say it goes down always though. So you window, and then I'll window like as necessary. I think usually works best for me. I found.
I'm gonna
I
swing.
rolled 15 to pick the lock, ready to just.
And I'm gonna swing down through the window.
Okay. Give us a couple of seconds.
In a very strong way, not in an acrobatic way.
Roll me athletics then.
What I'm gonna can I can Grimnir be like the one holding a rope, you know, and like as P like swings down like, you know, like special forces style and like breaks through the window kind of thing as like an assist situation?
You can roll it with advantage.
Thank you. Which makes it a 20 non-natural.
20 non-natural. Perfect. You can crash through. What I will say is we will just have a little bit of Foray having picked the lock, Persephone having knocked, and just interrupt me when you think you would have crashed through a window. So you have picked the lock. Persephone has run back down and knocked. If Foray was still kind of peering through the lock, you would notice the vampire kind of turn towards the door, go over.
I have uninvisibled myself.
Can I do that really horrible thing where I time it? So you know when someone's just about to open the door, and then you open it so it bangs them in the face and kind of takes them by surprise? Just to throw them off a little bit.
You watch as you're kind of peering through the keyhole. You watch this person look like they're ruffling through their trousers to get a key, and as they're kind of holding their hand towards the keyhole to unlock the door that they think is still locked, you do open the door, and the key clatters to the floor as it's knocked out of their hand. What? Sorry, who are you?
Hello, we're looking for an obelisk. Have you seen one?
Oh, you're going for the obelisks. How do you know about these?
End of the world, disaster.
Carefully maintained
Yes, it's not
network
exactly
of spies.
It's not exactly something that one reads in the Herald, is it? Well, I suppose you better cut in.
At that point, smash.
Bloody hell! I would have let you in.
Oh, sorry.
I rent this room.
Trust me, I've got more than enough gold. I will sort out the window.
That makes one of us.
Bill it to the shepherds.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure I should, but thank you. Right. Okay. Let us calm down if you like. We've got
one sec. Grimnir, you can come down.
Can Grimnir use the door?
To be clear, is this like a hot entry, or like
No, a cold entry, preferably through the door.
Okay. See, this is why I ask. Okay. I'll be a minute.
Just picturing
just like-
that awkward silence of us all just sort of staring at each other, and you can hear the shales of the rooftop.
And right, and then I think he then just decides to jump at some point, and it just like it's a whole clatter. But eventually, Grimnir makes his way up.
Much appreciated, Grimnir. And you're all in the room. Okay, so I take it you've assembled to try and deal with this problem.
Yeah, with like very little information or location. Well, rough.
Really, it seemed pretty straightforward. The information we got was look for big tower, and that seemed like enough. And yet, no tower.
Right. And may I ask, have you been searching for undead creatures and the like?
Yes.
Oh,
How do you think we found you?
you know what? That is a jolly good point. I hadn't thought of. I mean, I tried to go out for walks. Looks a little shiftily. Walks around the countryside at night, and it was fairly apparent to me. But you know, I'm sure it's fine.
Could you get
You were
to
looking
the
down,
point?
right?
Preferably, yes, we
Oh.
were looking down.
We're looking down, or down.
Be
They're
clearer.
underground.
They're underground.
They're underground. I'm not sure. It's. I can tell that there's something big, but I don't want to stick around. Certainly, if what I've heard is true, one doesn't want to be in this town.
Would you like to
What?
ignore my friend Prosperous and take us to this tower?
Wait. Please take us to the tower.
I say.
Then you can run away.
I will certainly point you all in the right direction. It's around this time that the rumbling starts. Those of you who were observing would notice that the red of dusk has been replaced with the deep blue of night. And almost as if on cue, as if that was the signal they were waiting for, an almighty earthquake begins. Where would you like to run to?
I'll grab the vampire, throw it to Grimnir, and then be like,
Oh dear!
because I feel like
Hello.
and they're like, out the building.
Oh, vampire. Oh, yeah. No, I knew what this was. Out.
Yeah.
Right. Jump.
He's just jumping out of the window.
Yeah. I came in through the door.
That is true. That is all that was asked of you.
He hesitates, turns, sees that 4 is okay, and then leaves. Probably also out the window, to be fair.
So I believe that this is a 3-story building. So we're not fussed by that. Okay, cool.
And
Athletics checks for everybody who's leaving via a window.
I think I've got a climbing speed.
That's a 30. So
26.
10 for each of the stories were up.
26 as well, did you say? I mean, I'm going to roll the full damage because, you know, when does one get to roll full damage ever? But I'm going to halve it. So I rolled a 9 on the dice. You take 4 points of damage each, just as your ankles kind of slam into the ground below.
as everyone lands heavily, Percy has waited to see that everyone has got out safely, that Prosperous especially isn't needing any assistance, and then we'll shadow step outside because there's a lot of broken glass going on after those two have barreled through, and then run down the wall for 6 seconds, bounce off, and then just slow fall and land perfectly, obviously in an Avengers hero landing, because why wouldn't you? And I take no damage because I'm a monk.
Absolutely. And
Hoping there's a
for a-
down pipe. I'm hoping there's a down pipe that I can
Okay.
just.
um,
Do you need a roll?
I would like a roll.
That's a 15 acrobatics for me, but
I will allow acrobatics. That was what I was leaning towards. I think for the 15, you managed to find enough purchase that you kind of slide down this drain pipe. By the time you reach the floor, the ground level of this town, you can see that people are already running around. There's the sound of a bell going off as alarms have been raised, and town guard running towards the western gate of the town.
Is there anyone trapped in the inn?
Do you have any special senses to know whether someone would be trapped?
Justice. No, absolutely not.
Okay. You can see that the door to the inn is open. You can see that patrons are kind of vacating, but the rumbling is still going on. If anything, it's kind of slowly escalating.
Would probably start running towards the west gate whilst whistling for Andy to come down. Andy can definitely carry 2 of us. Probably would turn to Percy and be like, "You're all right on your own, right?"
I'll run. I'll see you there.
In which case, I'm afraid, Grimney, you're probably too heavy with me as well. So he's probably just going to hold a hand out for it without saying anything.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to, but usually the answer is that I'm too heavy for really anything, so...
yeah, I'll grab my hat off Grimnir, hat on, and jump up onto the back, and then pull my pistol out and begin checking my ammunition in it. That all of the barrels have got a bullet.
Okay. You all make your way to the west gate. Now, typically, this town will shut its doors and will not open them for hell or high water once they've been shut at dusk. However, you can see that the guards have on this occasion opened up the gates, and through the gates you can see rising out of the ground is a large solid black obelisk. And beyond the obelisk, you can see that chained to it with huge chains.
Why is it so phallic?
I mean, that's like the whole deal. That's the whole...
We've already been through this in the main campaign, you know. Yes, yeah, looking for an erection. Well done. As it rises out of the ground, you see that it is being hauled bodily out by these 2 gargantuan undead star-nosed moles. These huge creatures look...
Gonna channel divinity on my sword.
These do. These huge creatures, they've got kind of torn flesh. They look very definitely undead, but they are swathed in chains which are taut and just hauling one in either direction so that the obelisk raises perfectly upright out of the ground. Looks to be about a mile, maybe 2 away.
Are the moles the problem? Or is the obelisk the problem?
You were told to look for an obelisk and try to destroy it, topple it, so that the ritual would fail.
Hey, do you guys think that that's like The
yeah,
obelisk?
that's it. Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
it might be.
That's
Yeah.
the one, Grimnir.
Well, can I put this vampire down? I think that's like
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
please
put the
do.
vampire down.
Great.
Guess we're just gonna fly full pace towards it.
Percy,
You can
Andy
keep
goes.
It's up to you. You can keep the vampire if you want to.
Best of luck, folks. Bat!
Percy can run 130 feet around, so she's just going to run.
Andy dashing can go 180.
Whoa, are you all seeing this? Oh, gnarly.
I'm gonna figure out your deal after this is done. You're confusing me.
So I'm guessing Foray and Prosperous on Alicornback, Grimnir and Persephone just on foot.
Yeah, Grimnir's very fast, but is used to being one of the faster people in the group, and is still just is perfect form knife sprinting, and is just absolutely being blasted by literally everyone else, I think.
Percy running is poetry in motion, and will have started to race you, and then there's no effort in it.
Yeah, Grimnir runs like the Terminator. To be clear, it's horrifying. Everything he does is just inherently and flawlessly and unintentionally very frightening. Even he could be running after a butterfly with a net and would still be like, oh no, something bad is happening. So that's the vibe, as he's just trying to cover as much ground as possible.
As I run, boom, boom, Percy's gloves light up and fire ripples around her hands.
I'm just going to turn around to Foray. We've got probably a conversation to have, but let's try not to die first.
No, I'm not entirely sure what's scarier, those two or that obelisk.
Oh,
Very nice, thank you.
But if you want to chat, we can chat.
do you want to stay on Andy and you can fly at range with him?
Yep, just you call it out. I'll do it.
Well,
Good to see you. And he does sort of give a friendly, good to see you, Andy.
I thought you were saying good to see me to me. I'm quite hurt now, Foray. And it starts to simmer back down to usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something very natural about just returning back to flying together off to go deal with something that we're not entirely sure whether we can walk back from.
So sure, the intention would be to get close enough that I can probably jump off from a safe-ish distance, but that Foray can still be in range on Andy rather than up close. But I'm very slow, so we'll get me as close as possible.
Yeah. I need about 90, so anything from 80 foot to 90 foot, I'm good for.
And you're all also well aware of the kind of timing of when you're going to arrive here. Also, you all arrive at the same time. I'm not going to be Grimnir, so you missed it. Yeah, no. So you will all arrive, and what's the other thing that I need to do now? That's right. Please could you all roll me initiative? Because you have timed arriving, if there is anything that you will do, I think reasonably you could have a couple of actions to kind of get your shit started.
Nice.
So yeah, if there's anything that would be this lasts for the battle, you've already got it activated. We're all good.
At the end of my barrel, can I twist the end of the barrel and switch it to thunder damage? I think.
Nice.
Yep.
Not sure. Yeah,
I think that seems the
safest
most.
one.
Yeah, that seems like the most anti whatever obelisk.
I do have some.
You're going to laser off this mole, basically.
Dawn, are we all right to retcon that Percy has shared her ring of amity with Prosperous on the journey?
Yes.
If
Sorry,
you-
retcon that has happened.
Yes, Yes, retcon that. If you will permit me 90 seconds of indulgence, what will have happened if Prosperous is happy with this is there is a slight sentimental departure between Percy and Ashra, which Prosperous, I don't know whether tries tactfully to ignore or is completely oblivious and just stands right there, third wheeling.
I mean, Prosperous pretty high, pretty charismatic. It's all right. Probably wouldn't have like stood right next to you.
So after doing your very best to not pay any attention to the leave taking, Ashra will have called you over and taken off her wedding ring and given it to you. And
I'm not marrying Persephone.
And said,
it's
please,
not
please,
happening.
Please, don't misread it. She is my wife. Do not get any ideas about that. But the wedding rings that I had made for us will keep. Well, they keep me safe when she's here, but as she's off, you should probably have it. And she will have explained. It's a beautiful woven band. They're a matching set, woven kind of blue metal and silver, almost light, woven together. And Ashra will explain to you that whilst you're wearing it, when I heal, you heal. And if we're close enough and I allow it, I make you hit hard.
I will stick it on probably my pinky, which is probably the only place it fits compared to Ashra's like tiny wizard hands.
Maybe just down to that knuckle.
And I'll put it underneath one of my stack of warding bond rings to make sure that it doesn't come off.
Yes, and Ash will have said, bring it and her back.
I have no intention of getting Percy killed. If anything, she'll get me killed.
Don't you know it? And then we'll have had the massive argument about the Alicon.
Yeah. Also, while
Rory,
we're
do you
just
give
before
me anything? Or like, do you have like a gun that I could wear or something, or another hat? It's okay, no pressure. I don't know. I'm still getting used to this like two-person party thing. So,
can I make a mini retcon and ask Alicon Andy to be within 30 feet of the party?
Yeah. Before I jump off, I'll just turn to you and be like, you still got the ring, right?
He pulls it out from underneath his shirt.
Okay, I'll cast Warding Bond between Foray and Prosperous. What that means, it's all good for you. Mike, you get a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws, and you've got resistance to all damage. Every time you take damage, it's halved, and we share it between us.
Sorry in advance.
Okay. So, initiatives have been rolled. So, please, could you let me know? Did anyone get over a 20?
21.
Nathan, you're muted. If that was
no, I was just expressing
Rebecca?
my disdain.
21 for Percy.
Percy up first. Did anyone get between 15 and 20?
15.
I'm really sorry I lost it. Oh, there we go. I got 15 too.
Foray is definitely more Dexy than P.
Okay. Okay. I will change that to a Foray instead of a Prosp. And Prosp goes next in line. Okay. What did Grimnir roll?
With advantage, I rolled a 4.
Oh,
I rolled, in fact, 2 4s. So that's awesome. But it's all right, because I'm the slowest member of the party anyway. So, like, I'm arriving last on the scene, I think.
This all makes sense. Okay. So, as you run towards this colossal creature, so there are two that are pulling it out, but obviously they're traveling in opposite directions. You've gone for the one that was heading towards you. You can see that under its joined toes, it's scrabbling through and destroying farmland and fields under its enormous undead bulk. And at the top of the round, it is Percy.
Percy will look at the undead mole and the tower and very quickly work out that she's more likely to punch through a mole than a tower. And so I would like to please, if you will allow it, using my movement, run up the side of the mole, land on its neck, and then start punching through its skull. So I will spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows, so I get 4 attacks. I'll roll them all straight away, see what hits. I have a plus 10 to hit. 28, 21, 24, and 19.
So the 19 was the lowest.
Yes.
All of those hit.
Great. I will spend a key point just for fun on the first one, mainly just to get the measure of it. Could you make a con saving throw, please? I want to see if it can be stunned.
Absolutely fine. That is 18.
Yeah, DC 16. I won't waste more key points at the moment. But that still leaves me with damage. All I've wasted is a key point. So I have 4 hits. Each of them is a D8 plus a D6 plus 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, shall I just give you a sum total rather than rolling them all individually?
Yes, I think that's probably makes the most sense.
Okay, so the 8, so 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 3 is 18, and then the 20, 26, 36, and then 56 points of damage. Please.
Okay.
Huge.
It's gonna die.
Yeah, it's still standing, obviously.
Yeah, does it look, where does it look between, ow, that was incredibly painful, and there is a flea?
It does look like, yes, that was a very painful hit. In fact, I'm going to use a reaction to reduce that, I think. Because, you know. Yeah, on a scale of 0 to, ow, that is definitely a hefty hit. But,
Okay.
you know, it's difficult to tell on an undead creature because they don't really respond in the way that you would expect.
Great. That is my turn. I could jump off, but I'm going to stay and ride the mole.
Please do. Foray is up next.
Almost like immediately after Percy sort of started making the cranium hole, Foray's gonna like almost call a response, and literally as Percy pulls her fists up, this like bullet goes crushing into it. Hopefully, I'm assuming I would hit. It's just whether I penetrate. So
Absolutely.
that is a. I don't have anything. Could I have used my bonus action to hide on the back of Andy? I don't know how to get away with that or not.
Move to within 30 foot, correct?
Yes.
I
am flying.
You are flying, that is true. But flying within 30 foot is still within its blind sight range. So,
All right, fair enough. So no.
yes. You could try to hide, certainly, but it knows where you are.
That's all cool. I will use steady aim instead.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
do that.
I have not played a rogue in ages. That was my bonus action. Okay, that's better. That's a 30 to hit.
3-0.
Mm.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Nice. So that will start off with 10 magical piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mhm.
we have 3 thunder damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got 19 sneak attack.
Okie dokie.
And then for my second attack,
Mhm.
that's a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
We've got 11 magical piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then with gun expert attack, if I attack with a one-handed weapon, which is my gun, I can use my bonus action to attack with the gun I'm holding. But I don't know if I need like a second gun. I've never quite worked that one out. So I might need you to do a quick ruling of what you think of that.
Roll a call, just fire your pistol twice.
Oh wait, it's a bonus action anyway, and I use that to steady aim, so that goes away.
Oh, all right. Well, we know for next time. Okay, right. Well, following Frory, hot on Frory's heels is Prosperous. What's P doing?
Yeah, so I'm going to start running towards the mole that Persephone is chilling out on top of. As I run towards it, as I get within 20 feet, I will throw my sword once. It's way too heavy to be thrown, but it is magically. I am able to do that, basically. Right, that first attack is a 32 to hit.
32 hit.
Grand. Alright. I'm going to chuck in a 4th level smite, because might as well just get them.
What was the deal
Anything-
with the crit?
It's up to Rebecca. I'm actually gonna put in a 3rd level smite because I've only got 1 4th level.
So, yes, if we're within 60 feet, I can and will use my reaction and you automatically crit.
I am going to very quickly look, because this thing is gargantuan and you are canonically on its neck. So I'm just looking up. How many feet is it talking?
If
Rule
I,
of
20 foot.
cool, Sean. Rule
if
of
I've
cool.
screwed it over,
I mean, yeah, it's very cool, but also I
will
don't
just
want
move
it to be.
the text around if needs be.
How many feet did you say? 60.
60.
Yeah, no, it's big, but it's very much on the edge of it. But you do sense that your connection is close enough.
The reaction is Percy just yelling to you, "This is weird. This should really only be for Ash." And then you feel a like boost of self-esteem.
Not sure I feel great about that, but yeah, 92 points of damage.
Yes.
92. Nice.
That's my first attack. My second attack is a 31 to hit.
31 also hits.
And 11 adds 18, and another 3rd level smite is 18 38, 42.
42
on the
points of
second
damage.
one. Yeah.
Nice.
And I catch the sword as it boomerangs back and then just plunge it in to, I guess, a leg.
Lovely. Great. That's 2 attacks. Anything else on your turn, or?
No,
Okay.
I think I'm good. I'm just gonna redeem myself and stand here.
Grimnir arrives just in time to see Frory on an alicorn, Prosperous at the mole's feet, and Persephone pounding an ever increasingly large hole in its neck.
Grimnir arrives and sees the sick blade throw catch stab maneuver. He probably missed all the rest of it. He was still really chugging hard because he's much slower than everyone else, apparently. And he just yells out like, "That was awesome. Watch this." And he unveils that in the lead up to this, he had used one of his daily abilities, which is, let me make sure I say the right thing. Where'd it go? Shoot. Come on. Just when you think you remember how D&D Beyond works, you're wrong. In this moment, 2 giant wings emerge celestially from his back. And it's like a little bit of angel, but a little angel, little demon, if you will, little devil. And he like does this big, huge running jump, and in one motion just like grabs his greatsword out and goes to plunge it down onto probably the same one that we've been wailing on. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and rage, being a barbarian and all, and then I am going to do a couple of attacks. I think the first one, recklessly, of course, is going to be a 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Excellent. Whoa. Is that right? No. My character's very weird, so I want to make sure I was going to do the math right, and I don't think that is correct. So he does 17. He does 17 points of magical slashing damage. He does an additional 5 points of radiant damage. And also, this creature, now that it has been attacked by Grimnir, its movement is lessened by 10 feet. I don't imagine this thing is like going anywhere probably, but just in case, it is indeed a little slower. And then having just like taken this one huge slash at it, then just kind of like without pausing for a moment, just like takes in this horrific kind of breath and then uses the breath weapon, which is also radiant damage. Hooray. So I'd like it to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okie dokie. That is a 10. However, I'm going to use a legendary resistance, and I'm not going to fail that.
So it takes. It only takes then. The 18 was the full damage, so it takes half that. So 9 points of radiant damage.
I have literally nerfed you.
I am extremely fine trading one breath weapon for a legendary action. That seems pretty good. So that's it. But now like Grimnir's gone for like is now full crazy berserker, horrifying murderer mode, essentially. And we're like, oh yeah, that's why he was talking about how he killed unicorns earlier. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I see it now. But I think that's the end of my turn.
Okie dokie. Well, following Grimnir's turn, that does indeed make it the mole creature's turns. So, the one that's furthest from you begins to turn inexorably to face you. Please. Actually, it's a roll, so I will roll this.
Sure, and I forgot that when I crit, I get to add an extra dice of damage, so I'm just going to roll a d8 and add it on.
That's absolutely fine. A d8's not going to hurt.
Oh, well, it was 7, so it's spicy.
Okay, but this is the one on the far side of the obelisk. Turns around. I'm not entirely sure how you recognise that this is happening, but you see the snout kind of pull in towards itself, and then in an almighty shudder, a glob of mucus sprays out of its nose. Does a 30 hit P?
Yes. Could we keep descriptions of mucus to a...
That will be the last time I do it.
Some of us have toddlers and we experience it just on a daily basis.
That is reasonable. Right. So, in terms of damage, that is 20 bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
It does say that the target and creatures within 10 feet, but you have all wisely spread it out, so that is fine. Could you please make a dexterity saving throw?
Can I ask if this counts as an attack? Or is it like
This is
a...
100% an attack.
Awesome.
Roll. I rolled an 18 on my dex save.
An 18 is
Yeah.
just shy of what you needed.
Yeah.
You take a further.
Oh, just damage.
You are also restrained. But I don't think that's
so
gonna affect-
completely
I
irrelevant
rolled-
to P.
I rolled incredibly low on that. You take another 4 acid damage. That is the one that is further away from you. You see that the obelisk has stopped rising out of the ground and appears to be wedged in place by the earth that the mole creatures had been displacing behind them. So the furthest mole begins to turn towards you. The mole that you have all been attacking is going to, I think, on the back of its neck. You're just out of its way, so it's not going for Persephone, but Grimnir, having kind of flown a bit too close to its mouth, it is going to go for a bite on you. That is, I'm rolling unusually well.
It does also
30
have advantage, don't
33.
forget.
That is true. I will. So that was a 19 on the dice. Let's see if I can get that crit. But that's 33 to hit you. I did not get a crit.
Can I do my interruption with my high noon at this point?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
So the damage on Grimnir is 16 piercing from the teeth. And then you've got, which you halve to 8, plus 10 poison damage.
Not halved.
It is then going to attempt the acid attack on Flore in midair.
It was a 15 to hit, by the way, for my reaction.
15. Oh, 15 doesn't hit, I'm afraid. To hit you, though, that is maths I can do, 22.
Yeah, that certainly hits.
Okay, so that is again. Can you make a dexterity save?
Oh, I can do that.
Hang on, how far was it off your AC?
Quite a bit.
Okay.
That's a 19 dex save, I think. Right.
19 is what you needed. I don't believe you take any extra acid damage on a save. I can't see that it's halved. So you just take 18 points of bludgeoning damage as the attack hits you bodily. Oh, actually, Em, could you also make a dexterity save for Andy?
Yes, he has advantage, which is, it's going to be more. That is, 19.
19. 19 is enough, so nothing happens there. You stay in flight, and we go to the top of the round, and Percy.
I'd love to do something imaginative, but the only imaginative things I could do would massively screw over the rest of the party. So instead, I'm going to hit it, please. I have a sack of key points because we are level 14, so I'm going to blow another one and do
Flurry of
another
blows.
flurry of blows. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that is another 4. I will roll them all together because why not? Shiny, 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 and shiny. Lowest again is a 19. There is a nat 20, and then so 19, 20, 20, and 30, and the 30 is a nat 20.
Yeah, if your lowest is a 19, then all of those hit.
Glorious. I like having +10 to things. I think I'm going to insist that any character I play from now on just has a +10.
Pretty nice. It's pretty cool.
So, double dice. So that is 5d8, 5d6 plus 20.
Yeah.
Maths! I don't do
Maths.
maths anymore. Don't have that many dice out in front of me, so bear with. On the d8, that's 11, 17, 18, and then one more. Thank you very much. 25 on the d8, and then 5d6. What did I say? Did I say 25? I did. And then 28, 30, 33, 38, and one more. Oh, thank you very much. 44, and then 64 points of damage.
The undead giant starface mole that you have been fighting goes down, and you believe is sleeping the final slumber. There is still the other one on the far side, which is rapidly approaching.
I would like to use my movement then to, like, surf beautifully down the whichever end of the mole is facing towards the other one.
The rear.
And use my movement to get... Can I get within... Well, I'd like to get as close to the mole as I can without leaving 60 feet away from Prosperous.
I think that will be fine because it did start moving its way towards you as well. So,
and I would like to reasonably deliberately be in the way if it's going to attack anyone. Percy has a sack of hit points and hasn't got hurt yet. So Percy would like to be reasonably distracting looking and in front of people. But ideally not standing very close in a nice mucus me plump. That was
okay,
a lot of
perfect.
words with no grammar, but I'm hoping they made some semblance of sense.
All good. As the creature falls to the ground, unmoving, vanquished, and the second creature turns to face you, that is where, dear audience, you are going to have to tune in next week to find out the resolution of this battle. So all that really leaves for me to say is thank you to everyone for joining us in the nail-biting return for some of our characters here today. If you enjoyed tonight, we play D&D every Monday from 6 p.m. GMT. Other time zones are, of course, available. And all of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. And you can find all of our content archived at youtube.com/rolltogetherrpg. There are also podcast versions where you can listen to all of our shows available everywhere. Just, again, search for Roll Together RPG. A massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. There will be a link in chat now where you can donate as little as one of your local currency to help us to create all of the fantastic content that we do. And a big thank you again to our sponsors and our supporters. And don't forget, we're all over social media as Roll Together RPG. Thank you for watching, and we will see you very soon.